get firm, this kind of stuff, this one here is great. I've had a bunch of others. They're all pretty good. But this brand right here, legitimately great. If you can find it, it's the best one I've seen. It's just firm tofu. You don't really need to get all special about it. The soft doesn't work as well for this. Medium doesn't work as well for this. People will say you got to press all the juice out. You don't really. You know, there is fluid left over in here, but it's firm tofu. There's not a lot in there. I don't go through a whole block of this, and you can freeze the rest of it. It's good for other things. It gets really spongy once you freeze it, and so it'll kind of absorb all of the flavors later on. So, you know, it is what it is. You can use it later. You can stick it in the compost. It's up to you. For what I'm doing today, you kind of want to get this into like really fairly small rectangles, because I'm going to pan fry them to get them nice and crispy. You don't need to squeeze all the moisture out for that to happen. It's having the right kind of pan, doing it at the right temperature, and just being patient. You just let it sit, and it will get there. Oh good. I'm gonna have this tofu with rice and broccoli, so it'll be, you'll see I've got my water boiling for my rice. I don't have a rice maker. I have a donabe. I've preheated my skillet. I think it's about ready, maybe not. We're gonna give it a minute, because you really want it to sizzle. When the tofu hits the oil, you want to have a sizzling sound. So right now my water's almost boiled. I've got about 2.5 cups of water in here, and 2 cups of jasmine rice that I'm going to put in there. Boom. And you. I'm doing this because, I don't know, I need to put in some, hello Sigma West, some of my cheaper food recipes people have told me are good, and I figure I should share. So once you get your 2 cups, water, rice, give it a little stir, and then because it's been boiling, you've got all the heat you need. I put it right down to low. You cover that, and by the time you're done cooking everything else, it'll be ready. The oil, it's still not quite hot enough. You can see how it's a little bit viscous. You want it to almost look like it's water when it's moving around on the pan. So let's take care of some other stuff. Show us the ankle monitor. I do not have an ankle monitor. I've never been arrested because I am smart and don't do things that get me in trouble. Alright, you can see this broccoli is a little bit on the yellow side. This is why I kind of had the idea for this video, because of, you know, cheap food. You can buy broccoli, like these 2 heads were kind of saran wrapped together and being sold for 99 cents because they are on their way out. But even when it's yellow like this, it's still totally edible. You can eat this. As long as there's no mold on it, you're good to go. So, like, this is gonna be enough food to feed 4 people when I'm done, comfortably, for less than $10. All right. So this oil is now at the stage where I can put the tofu in. I'll just do a couple handfuls. It's gonna sizzle. That's what you want. The only one thing you really need for this is a cast iron. Like every other cooking thing that I have, you can use other things to make it happen. But if you really want the tofu to come out right, you really want to do it in a cast iron pan. There's something about it, I don't know what it is, but cast iron makes all the difference in the world for this. And so you can see I've kind of packed it all down so everything is flat. Everything is ready to go. It's just gonna like get crispy on the one side while I do everything else. Oh, you know what? I don't care. They can be upset about my nails all they want. They're very sensitive people. They're snowflakes. They get worked up about the littlest things. And then I'm going to do stir fry the broccoli in my wok, but you can do any kind of pan. You don't need a wok. I just have one, so I'm going to use it. And once again, you got to preheat it with a wok. You want to get it to the point where it's a little bit smoky. Not really smoky, but you'll see. It's apparently called wok hay when you get this like kind of, yeah, and then you know it's ready. I know a lot of people will dump the oil out that you used to preheat. I don't do that because I don't notice the difference. I guess I'm not that much of a culinary master, and I don't feel like wasting the oil. Like, why throw out perfectly good oil? It doesn't make sense to me. First, I like to get the stalks prepped, because this is actually, I think, the best part of the broccoli is these stalks. Once you get the kind of woody exterior taken off of it, the center is actually really like bright and light. And then boom, you just get rid of it. And here comes the next one. You can see how it's much lighter colored on the inside. And a little bit of the dark is fine, but you don't want a lot of it because it's the outside part that gets that kind of woody flavor that's really not that tasty. Alright. I always try to like stir the oil around in the wok to kind of get it to stick to the sides. And then you just cut up your broccoli. Oh yeah, the stalks. I just kind of do it in 4. And then I cut that in half again. So I like them to be a little bit big, but you gotta have them small enough that they'll flash cook with everything else. And then broccoli, just once again, this is to taste. Some people like stuff cut up really small. I kind of like it a little bit bigger, a little bit more toothsome, but you know, cooking is all about what you like. I do find to make sure to get all of the crowns cut at least in half. Helps them cook up a lot quicker. Alright, that's the broccoli prep. The only other thing I'm going to put in with the broccoli, and the only other thing I really have to cut up, is some ginger. And that's just minced. This is some pretty old ginger that I have, but like honestly, ginger lasts forever. It's is, another one of those things. If it's not moldy, it's good. I bought this bag. They were selling a whole bag of these things for like $2 at the market. And so I was like, okay, well, hopefully I get through it all. But this is actually my last bit. So thankfully, I didn't waste any ginger. Which is, I don't know, I hate wasting food. I think it's a shame. And it's a shame that we throw so much out when people are starving, right? And who can afford to waste food these days either, right? And mincing, it's pretty quick. Let me just move that a little. And I like lots. You don't have to put this much in, but there's a lot of broccoli and a lot of ginger. And the only other things I'm going to be putting in the broccoli are some vinegar, some fish sauce, and some MSG. And that is like really, that's it. That's all you really need. It's going to be a really bright, light complement to this tofu that is honestly going to kind of taste like steak by the time I'm done. So... things are going along nicely. You can see this little bit of smokiness. It's not like setting off fire alarms yet, but that is what they call wok hay, and that means it's time. So you toss in the ginger, let that kind of do its thing for a couple seconds. You don't need to do lots of time, but you do want it to hit first. All right, that's in there. Just try not to make a goddamn mess of it. Oh well. Anyway, it's just a couple. Doing it while filming is a little bit on the difficult side. I'm normally a lot better at that, but here we are. All right, back to the tofu. It's been sizzling along nicely. You can see one side is getting a little bit golden and crispy, so time to just get it all flipped and try to do the same with the other side. It doesn't need to be both sides completely done, but it is nice, I find, if you get it all nice and evenly crisped up. And I don't try to get all four sides. I just do two. This is a quick meal. You want to be able to eat in like 30 minutes when you're broke and you're hungry, and you don't really want to leave the house and you got these things because you found $5 worth of tofu and $1 worth of broccoli. Yeah, that's about right. And I'm just gonna keep on making sure to give that a good flip. Try not to get it everywhere. I'm really making a disaster of it. But, oh well. There's lots. I'm just kind of mucking with the tofu a bit, trying to get as many sides of this as done. Once that first side, it's like tofu just gets heated up, and it doesn't take as long to crisp the other side once everything's kind of rolling. And I kind of get started early once I do the flip on my spices. This is, once again, really easy. Cumin, and I really go hard with the cumin. It's just give it all a good coat, because it's gonna kind of come together and make like a crust almost for it. I like cayenne pepper. I use quite a bit of that as well because I like spicy, but that's up to you. And then this paprika is a little bit hard to get into. Once again, smoked spicy paprika. Not quite as much. And then finally, some dried mustard powder. And that's it for the dry powders that I'm going to use on this tofu. Once I feel like it's kind of doing good, I'll let it cook for a little bit longer, just to stay on top of my broccoli. Keep it all inside the wok for once. Once you get your tofu going, and you feel like the temperature is good, you see it's kind of steaming a bit, I hit it with soy sauce. Once again, quite a bit. You're making it so that it really, steams up, boils and bubbles, and you are going to let that cook all the way down until it's just like a paste. You're going to want to really let the spices get completely mixed in and turn it all into a nice spicy coating for all of your tofu. All right, that's about mixed. So once again, you're just gonna let this sit for a bit. Let the fluids really just evaporate. Let it kind of caramelize. Now is a good time to check on your broccoli. I like it when it gets a little bit crusty like that. Some people don't, but that's just me. Broccoli's been in there for a bit. I'm gonna do let's do a little bit of fish sauce. Not much. Fish sauce is super, super potent, but a little bit is really nice. So I don't know if that caught well, but kind of adds a little bit of extra dimension to it. And then this is like a controversial ingredient or whatever, but MSG is amazing. And you don't need to use lots, but it makes a big difference. So MSG is your friend. I don't think that it causes strokes any more than any other salt does. It's just salt. And it really improves the flavor of whatever you're cooking. That is looking pretty good over here. Yeah, you can see it's kind of sticky and gummy at the bottom. And it's really starting to kind of gum up on the tofu itself, which means it's ready for the next phase, which is some dark vinegar. And this is going to deglaze everything that we just cooked onto the pan and kind of make almost a sauce. So you just kind of, once again, just let that vinegar do its thing. And it'll, once again, kind of carry the flavors into the tofu and make almost a sauce. You can see it's it's thinned out. And I like to let it kind of cook off again for a bit. And back to the broccoli. All right, that's coming along great. You can see it was yellow before, but as it cooks, it gets quite green. I've served yellow broccoli to people who would be really upset about it, and they didn't even know once I'm done with it because it's fine. So cook your yellow broccoli, don't throw it out. And if you see some for 99 cents, buy it, but cook it right away and wash it first. Once again, just cooking it down. Okay, once again, now we've got this. It's getting a little bit sticky on the bottom. We've got our kind of sauce going, so we'll just kill the heat. That's good. I'm certain this broccoli is good. And there you go. 20 minutes. Literally 20 minutes. And this is a meal. My rice, yep, rice is good. That took no effort. So let's plate. I do a bowl. So I guess it's not really plating, it's bowling. Bowling for tofu and broccoli. Pull that lid off again. Figure out what I did with the spoon. Yeah, there's no water left in there. It's nice and fluffy. You're ready to eat. Okay, we got that ready. We got some tofu. And like I say, this is enough food for me at least,